With the language, like I said, when I went out there, it wasn't taught in the MTC, so I had to learn everything in the field, which is, the best way to learn it. I'd say my advice to anyone that's going out there is, one, you're going to be overwhelmed with the language. That's something that's not uncommon in any mission. I think that it's important not to underestimate yourself, especially since you're called as a missionary. Like, you are entitled to that gift, the gift of tongues. So one, I would say seek that out, constantly pray and ask for the gift of tongues every single night, every single morning, every opportunity that you have to speak it, ask for that gift. Two, I would say practice. The Lord's not going to give us something if we're not willing to put in the work for it, right? So do your studies. Don't neglect studies. Don't neglect opportunities to learn the language, even if it makes you feel vulnerable and uncomfortable. I remember my companion did something to me that I absolutely hated when I did it, but I'm grateful he did it. He would make me teach a whole lesson, and I was out there for 4 months. A whole entire lesson. He said, he opened it up, and he said, okay, Elder Taylor's going to teach us a lesson today. And he didn't say a word. And when I turned to him to ask him for help, he didn't say a word. And so the whole time, and I promise it was the most uncomfortable thing I've ever gone through, I had to teach that lesson. And it was hard for all of us, the giver and the receivers of that lesson. So yeah, it's put yourself in situations that are going to make you feel uncomfortable would be my advice on that. And also be very humble in the sense of take correction when it's given. Us as people, when we're proud, we don't like correction. We don't like to be told what to do and what not to do. So when your trainer or members in your area tell you you're saying something wrong, say thank you, because they care, right? Just write it down, practice it, practice the phrase or whatever you're saying wrong, and you'll learn from that. But if you're closed-hearted and you're like, no, like I don't care what you guys are saying, I'm doing it right, then you're going to be a slow developer in the language. So be humble, be teachable, or coachable, or whatever you want to call it, but understand that you don't know the language at the start, but you can learn the language if you're willing to. So that would be my advice, is don't beat yourself up, be humble and teachable.